I've said this in a past video already, but slice of lives, man, I have really come to enjoy. There are many flavors of the slice of life, and there are some old criticisms that I still do believe in, but never once did I feel pain when watching them. Especially when they're about witches, because there's no need for stitches when you hang with witches. That was bad. Hello Internet, my name is Shannen, your friendly neighborhood anime misfit, and today, courtesy of the Patreon request, we are looking into the anime Flying Witch, a show about the chillest witch in the chillest town I've ever seen this side of Kansas. Kill the Waverly flashback doohickey thing. Our little snippet of life follows Makoto Kawada, a young witch from Yokohama who moves to Hirosaki, Aomori. Close enough. To live with some relatives as part of her training. What follows is Makoto's daily escapades as she gets used to her new environment, relatives, and friends she makes along the way, who are slowly also being pulled into the wacky world of witchcraft that hide in their own backyard. That's it! Pretty simple, huh? Man, I wish shows had a brief synopsis like this. Then we wouldn't be here all day. But anyway, for some pros of this series, well, first off, I really like the subtle take on witch culture as it implies a feeling of magic is always being around you. All you have to do is just focus to go out and seek it. In this show, it's more of a family cultural type deal than this grandiose world gated off from the eyes of man. Witchcraft here is much less about the big booms and flashy dishes, and more about how to better use magic for practical uses to modern times. Or just to be a troll. Well, that works too. The plot was a real sweetie to enjoy, and I mean diabetic sweet. You won't be passing out from glucose here, as I kept smiling with every episode. The people who do this lifestyle are just as normal and easy to come by across as one might think, and never has to shove the "you're a wizard, Makoto" in your face, and rather invites the viewer to follow along and be relaxed by its pace. It's the type of show that tells you to sit down with a cup of bubble tea and not ask so much from you, as you distract yourself from the crippling depression and tension of trying to make ends meet. Ah, so soothing. This helped along by the really core cast of characters. Makoto's airheaded, goofy sensibilities charmed me, and when I watched her do practically anything, not just witchcraft. All the members of the Kuramoto family have a fun range of likability that helps versify what makes Makoto so soft and charming. Okay, even if Kei's deadpan voice makes me want to chuck him over a river. Stop sounding so monotone! The everyman audience surrogate, now Ishiwatari and Makoto's older sister Akane, I did find were great additions to spice up all the soothing banter. Though one of the things I didn't like was how I felt that some of the side characters felt put in at the last minute and really just felt like padded out space. For example, it felt wasted on how much presence this tall thing got in the opening despite its lack of presence in the show. Mr. Harbinger of Spring is only in episode 2 for half the episode and never shows up again. It makes sense why he's no longer there. He brings in the spring and the seasons and then just fucks off to do whatever. But because the show takes place in the spring, almost summer setting, he just feels like added padding for no reason. Same can be said for the other side characters for which as a whole, I felt the show almost forgot it was a show about magical sorcery and witches. The chillness being both a pro and a con per se. When the chill factor is given more variety, we see more escapades from the older sister or the developments of Chinatsu's desire to become a witch as well. Seriously though, these parents will accept almost anything, won't they? I bet you bottom dollar she could just come out with almost anything outrageous and they would just respond the same exact way. Mommy, I want to be a Ninja Turtle. Mommy, I hope aliens come to probe my brain. Mommy, I'm addicted to shaving cats. That's great, honey. Go for it. I kind of like it in its own awkward way. It does capture what makes that chillness a little too outrageous, and that's for its betterment. Going back to the cons, though, I've come to a conclusion that they are all part of the main problem, that the series was trying to set up a sequel that probably will never get one. This is pretty much a common theme I've seen with most modern anime these days, and I don't like it. Of course, for the type of nature of the show and how it ended, it was both expected and and didn't really bother me that much. It's an episodic series, so what you gonna do? And it was still a fine, enjoyable send-off. However, I wanted more of it without feeling advertised to read the manga, since that's how it always ends up being. Will we get another season? I don't know, but I'm not holding my breath. For now, I'll just take in the wonderfully mystical, mundane, and normality of it all. Thanks to the wiggly presentation. Can I get a segue? The presentation can be better described as charmingly wiggly. I like how JC staff just nails the warm small town feel without it being too overly pandering to the let's rebuild the community crowds type deal. Look, I live in a small town too, but I'm becoming really saturated by all of the narratives of this plot. So I'm happy I didn't have to think too much on that when watching this show. For slice of life, you don't need the big flashy displays of tech, but this show does a good job to place those nuggets of special animation where it counts. Sometimes to invoke a specific emotion, sometimes to just develop how wonderful the magic is, or in the case of episode 1, highlight the best way to make someone uneasy. Wiggly, isn't it? But I just overall like the attention to detail when things get magical. But that's not all. For Flying Witch has its own menu, chocked full of whimsy pie, because boy is that music one to hit you right in the Ghibli. And I liked it. Its more signature tracks could be told from the rest, but that doesn't mean it tries to drown your good nature with it. Its opening track is a shining example, as its fun, upbeat bout is perfect for getting you into some good vibes. I wouldn't say I watched it every time, but when I was really needing to pick me up, it was there. The ending not so much my personal taste, but it also had a fanfare of likability. In conclusion, I can't find much to say more about this series, actually, which can be taken as a good and bad light. Its simple premise offers a quaint pit stop for your anime binging. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Its lovely pace and characters hints towards a world just outside your door for anyone to reach, and it proves that foxes do have something to say. They go bark. However, it's just that, a nice pit stop. I just want more of this series, and while the manga can satisfy that, I feel like its reliance to get people to do so is never a good thing in my personal opinion. I will say this once, and I will say this till the cows come home. A good series desires the viewer to explore more, but a great series allows the viewer to explore on their own terms. So after some considerations, and a baker's dozens of transforming chocolates that plague more questions about irony than intrigue, I award Flying Witch with the recommendation to try it and a watchability rating of E for everyone, which is a rare teen anime these days. This is the perfect pick up and watch show for either one afternoon or to savor over multiple sessions. With the kiddies, perhaps. If you like witches, and they like witches, I feel a harmonious reaction coming forth. And it's easy to stream to boot, though I still don't recommend the DVD buy, for it's also a series you'll probably watch once and that's it. So I wouldn't say this is the best show to get for your money's worth in that department, but I wouldn't say it's the worst buy either. As for anime alternatives, let's go with a solid 5. The first two will be for the person needing a break from it all in Yuru Camp and Hakume to Michiko. Two gems I feel not only ended their animes much better without forcing the person to notice original source material, but have their unique feels of calm that just warms up the insides. Next will be for you all witch lovers out there, and while I could easily recommend a certain work about UPS's magical division, I'd rather recommend the anime, Witchcraft Works, and the Ancient Magus Bride. Look, I get it. Witchcraft Works is no Little Witch Academia by any mile of margin, but it's still there for someone who wants something different while staying in the JC staff department. And Magus Bride needs no justification. Just go watch that shit. Preferably dubbed. All I'm gonna say. And finally, let's recommend Natsume's Book of Friends, a similar mystical vibe to Flying Witch, unlike the latter, who actually gives a damn about adapting multiple seasons of content, so you don't feel a need to go read the original source material. And man, this is becoming another rant about source material, so I'll shut up now. I'm sorry, I'm just really ranting when it comes to that. But hopefully, with all those, you should find something you'll enjoy. Yeah, this is a short one. I didn't want to make an overly need to elongate my words if there was nothing else to say, but see it as a concise thumbs up from me. And you can add those thumbs up by giving this video a thumbs up as a like, commenting about what you guys think about it, even subscribe to the Anime Misfit if you haven't done so already. I hear it's the most mystical place on the block that comes with free rocks. But don't forget to hit that bell so you don't get locked from the sweet notifications. YouTube's getting lazy at this point. Follow me anywhere on the internet, and if you are so inclined, consider supporting me on Patreon to keep this gravy train a-flowing at an even faster rate. So hey, have you ever thought about that little engine that could ever have to pull a cart full of gravy up that hill? And if he did, would that be symbolically for him to already succeed in life? Like a gravy train, but he just doesn't realize it as he thinks he can without knowing that he can? Ah, what the heck. Cue the random can dance. See you guys next video. Shannen out!